Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to one of the biggest Wyatt Sicks videos that we've done in quite a while. Normally, we just get a little segment that we have to kind of chew over. We had so much on this week's Raw. There was so much that went down and it was so emotional as well. I mean, that Rowan vignette kind of did everything I thought it was going to do. It hit you in the feels. It really was everything we hoped for. There was one thing that took me by surprise. I said this during the stream. I didn't expect it to be as positive at the end. I mean, it was emotional and he was getting upset and he was talking about losing one brother, losing the other brother, being in a well, being in a pit, not being able to get out, not wanting to get out. And then he extended his hand, which, you know, Rowan took because he knew then he had a purpose and it was what he needed. And it really changed at the end because he seemed to smile and actually be, dare I say, borderline excited about what the future was going to hold. Now, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting him to be as positive at the end about the future. I really thought it was going to be very focused on the past, very emotional, but it had that kind of little twist. And as I said, it picked it up at the end. I really liked it. You know, his purpose is, you know, to stand up for those that are being downtrodden and all of that stuff. You know, we know the purpose of this group. We know what they've bought into. And that's why Rowan is back. But listening to that emotional promo and that vignette was obviously not easy. And then, of course, we also had that Bo and Chad segment, which we will get to. I would say the couple of things to take away from that was Bo smiling as he was being beaten up. I think the fact that the rest of the group didn't race out was okay because I think they sort of knew that Bo had this. This is what he wants. Like, he wants to go out there. He's someone that doesn't fear pain. He's someone that doesn't mind going out there, being jumped, being attacked. I don't know that he doesn't feel pain. There have been some theories that he doesn't feel pain. I don't know about that. We know that Bray taught himself to not feel pain. I don't know that Bo has done that. But he was enjoying it by all intents and purposes. And there is one big thing we need to talk about, and that was the moment that he looked at Chad and said, "There you are." That is something I really want to dig into. Of course, there was the reference to Luke Harper with the yeah, yeah, yeah. That's also a bit of a reference to Bray, because, of course, when Bray returned at the end of 2022, 2023, he would throw some yeah, yeah, yeahs in there as well, because he was paying respect to Luke Harper. So that was a little cool back then. But now I can't help but think about Bray as well when I hear the yeah, 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 because I can hear Bray doing it as he was paying respect to Luke Harper. So I sort of feel like in a roundabout way, it pays respect to both of them. You can find both of them saying that, doing that. But originally it would have been a nod for Luke Harper, right? So a lot of people obviously picking up on that. And then at the very end, when Bo was down on his knees, I was saying during the watch long, is he about to put his arms out? Because that's obviously going to be very reminiscent of Bray. And he did. So at the very end, he was on his knees. He put his arms out with his family behind him, just like Bray used to do when he had the Wyatt family. So a few little nods in there to brothers that are no longer with us. And of course, as well as that, we also had a puppet in the background. So, as we said, so much to talk about. I feel like this is one that we're going to have to take a bit of a walk through and make sure we don't kind of miss anything. So, Dexter, before the show, put this out, posted this, TJF1983, shout out to you. So, this is the Mercy puppet. And obviously that is the character, the puppet that Dexter is portraying. Don't know that this is really sending any messages other than confirming who the Mercy character is. I think it's very easy for us to forget that there are people that didn't interact with the QR codes. There's people that don't know the identity of this group. Maybe they've read it in articles now. Maybe word has got out there now. But this could just be a way of people knowing that Dexter is Mercy. That's who this is. You know, it's just helping put the pieces together for those that haven't put it together themselves yet. There were people saying, does this mean the Funhouse is coming back? I don't know that that's the message it's sending at the moment. I'm not expecting the Funhouse to come back anytime soon. I think it can do. I think even potentially it may do. But I don't know that that's what we're communicating here. So those are my thoughts on that. There is the puppet in the background, just behind Akira Tozawa. So this was when Chad needed some help. So Chad was in the shot at this point. He was over here next to Otis. And Chad thought that the old Alpha Academy were talking about helping him. Turns out they were actually talking about helping Xavier Woods. But yeah, there's Ramblin' Rabbit popping up in the background. So we do need to keep our eyes peeled for the puppets. They are still using them and having them as little Easter eggs in the background, which is really fun. Really, really fun. I really love that. I think this is something, knowing this community as well as what I do, this is something which you just know people love. They love looking in the background. They love spotting things. They love these hidden Easter eggs. So WWE very wise to continue doing things like this. Over on Instagram, I think it was just before the interview aired. We got Rowan, Eric Redbeard, posting this on Instagram. It's just the sheep's mask, and it just had a bit of like flashing, kind of glitching and whatever. I think really it was just a way of kind of promoting his interview was coming up, you know? And what an interview it was as well. What an interview it was. So here is the full Erick Rowan Wyatt Sicks VHS tape. Long live Wyndham. And I commented an hour ago saying, as touching as we thought it would be, Rowan was fantastic here. I wasn't expecting the smile or the excitement at the end for now having a purpose, but that pain is fueling what will follow. And what I mean by that is that it was really a tale of two halves. You had the emotion and the pain of the first part, and then the complete opposite at the end, a smile and even borderline excitement for the fact that he has once again got purpose in his life. So it does feel like that pain is helping to fuel and drive him forward. Now he's got a purpose. He's got a reason for being. But hearing him say about how he used to be in a family and how he lost a brother, and, you know, he thought that he would be able to get back on his feet, and then he loses another brother, and like hearing all of that, oh God, it's not easy, man. It was not easy. Let's have a little look at it, shall we? So here, look, he was sat. Now, this obviously is the image that the Wyatt Sicks kind of posted. Never quite established where we were. Some people think we might have been backstage at NXT because it does seem to have like big units. Kind of feels a bit warehousey, stockroomy, you know? But I could never quite figure out where we were. Lots of really close camera work as well, so that you didn't miss any of that emotion. Very intense. Very intense. And this is where the camera was. It was just on his face pretty much throughout this. And if we skip forward, you can see the pain that's etched in his face. And as we said, you know, as you get to kind of the end of it, it does lift a little bit, which was really, really good. The reactions to this, just incredible. People were just absolutely loving it, saying that, you know, they've just knocked it out the park again, you know. It's one of those where I think that's a real hard one to not like. And they did show, like, the rabbit mask at one point. They're trying desperately, for those that didn't follow Nightbird, they're trying desperately to bring everyone up to speed and onto the same page. So for some of you out there, it might feel like, yes, I know all of this. But I would say just enjoy the walk, because we know where the end destination is going to be, and that's going to be SummerSlam. We're going to get to SummerSlam. We're going to do the match at SummerSlam. I wouldn't, even if I was booking this, I would not book them to have a match before SummerSlam. I feel like the first time you're going to watch these wrestle and what their ring gear is going to be, what that entrance is going to look like, the move set, you know, kind of the different moves they use, their finishing moves, how they work together, how they communicate. Like, there's lots of questions. I wouldn't give any of that away before SummerSlam. So it means that we've got this time between them arriving on the 17th of June to SummerSlam to introduce these characters to people that don't know who they are, tell them why they've come together, establish a target, build that feuds, and head towards the match. I wouldn't change anything. I really wouldn't. I think they've done a brilliant job with this. I think they've paced it really well. I know people have got impatient, but I don't know. I feel like people always get impatient. SummerSlam is where we're going to get this match. So that was the Rowan segment. Then, of course, we went into the next segment. This was Chad Gable going to the ring and telling the world he had figured it out. He knew who this person was, who Uncle Howdy was. And he revealed it's Bo Dallas. Everyone was shocked, right? You could, honestly, everyone was stunned. They didn't know. I'm lying. Everyone knew. And so he called out Bo. Now, the question was, what was Bo going to come out? What was he going to wear? What was the music going to be? There was no music. There was no Titantron. They're not giving that away. He came down in the shirt, right? In the Wyatt Sicks shirt, jeans, boots. Came down, and then he got jumped. He got jumped by the Creeds, and they were hurling him into the barricades and, you know, power bombing him and all this kind of stuff. And he was laughing. He was enjoying it. And that was so good, because in a way it sort of showed that things were going his way. This is what he wanted. Or even if it's not what he had planned, he was still enjoying it. And I think as well, he knew that he had the advantage. He knew that the family were just backstage, and I don't think they were in any rush to come out, because they knew this is all working on their time. Yeah, I don't think they're worried about the Creeds or worried about Chad. I think they feel like they are going to be able to deal with this in their own time. There's no need to come rushing down to the ring. It's all under control. Even when it doesn't look like it's under control, it's all right. It's under control. He was laughing. He was enjoying it. So we gave the heels their moment, even though it wasn't much of a moment. They jumped him. They were chucking him around and all this kind of stuff. Good to see the Creeds in suits as well, and Chad as well. I mean, the only person we've not seen here is Ivy. I feel like Ivy is going to be part of this group, because I've said before, I don't think you do Chad versus Uncle Howdy at SummerSlam. I think you do the Wyatt Sicks against the Alpha Academy. And I think the reason why you do that is because this group is all about standing up for those that have been neglected and pushed to the side and feel worthless. And that's exactly how these people in the group felt. So it wouldn't make sense to get to SummerSlam and go, I've got this, and push them to the side again. This is a big stage, and this is the exact stage that Nikki, Rowan, Dexter, Joe Gacy, they should be on this stage. Not really Uncle Howdy. He doesn't need it. That's not why he's come back. He's not come back to put himself on that stage. He's come back to put them on this stage. So I'm thinking we're heading towards this feuds. I'm thinking it's at SummerSlam. And I don't think Uncle Howdy's going to be involved. I think it's going to be the other four that are going to be involved. And I think that maybe Ivy gets involved. And then that, of course, will mean that Nikki gets involved. Might be that they're not actually officially in the match, and maybe they're just on the outsides. But we could have some real fun with that. So, yeah, that was the beatdown and everything. Here's some of the images, because, of course, not only did we get Bo going, yeah, 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 and not only did he put his arms out at the end, so we had those little Easter eggs, not only was he laughing, not only did we get this amazing entrance for the rest of the family, but, of course, we had the There You Are. And I think that There You Are is really interesting. Is this about showing your true self? If you show your real self and you're not a liar, and we get to see the real you, does he say there you are? Or is it that he gets to see your darkness? You know, perhaps he's looking for people's darkness. You know, perhaps he's looking for the Fiend. Perhaps he sees the Fiend. Perhaps everyone's got a bit of the Fiend in them, and it is your dark side. It is your anger. And maybe he saw a glimpse of that in Chad, and that's why he said, there you are. So I actually think this would make a very interesting video. Why did Chad say, or why did Bo say to Chad, there you are? I think that would make a very interesting video. I feel like it's one of those. I think it's you either show your true self, which means you're not being a liar, and you're showing your true self, you're reveling in who you are, or you show a bit of your dark side, which maybe is reminiscent of the Fiend. So that was all obviously very interesting. Of course, he was being attacked. Lights go out. Then we get this amazing entrance. Love this. No door. It was just that bright light in the kind of, you know, where you've got the entranceway. You've got like at the back, you've got a screen. And so the light was coming out of there. So it was kind of coming through the entranceway. And then the family stood in front of it. And Nikki had a lantern, but it was a plain lantern. It was obviously more in line with the lantern that Bray had when he was in the Wyatt family. All the screen was like the fireflies, which was really cool. We had the smoke kind of in the entranceway. Earlier as well, it is worth mentioning, Adam Pearce would not reveal what was said between the Wyatt family, the Wyatt Sicks, and himself, Bo and himself. He wouldn't reveal that. So we never got answers there. But clearly they're allowed to be here now. We're getting, you know, he said Bo is here. So, and now these guys have got, like, you know, a proper entrance. So I feel like, you know, there's clearly been movement there. So this just looked fantastic. I thought this was fantastic. And the music was the, you know, the dung, dung, and the start of Shatter, just kind of on repeat with that key. And like, it does sound like a bit of like train noises or something, like something rumbling along some railway tracks. It's hard to explain, but that was there as well. I love it. Very atmospheric. It's not like other entrance music. There's not a song. It's or a piece of music. It's more just it's a feeling, really. It's very good. It's very atmospheric. I love it. I wouldn't really change it. I wouldn't say that this is a stopgap. I would just keep it at this. But maybe you do Uncle Howdy's music. Uncle Howdy had some music, didn't he? Maybe he keeps that for when he's on his own. But when the family come out, they use this. But there we go. That's obviously, they were just wearing what they normally wear. There was Abby, Nikki with that lantern. So be careful what you wish for. Should we have a look, see if we can show this? So the lights would go out. They were kicking him and everything. He had a smile on his face. Look, still smiling away. They were planting him. He was smiling. And then we had the whole there you are, and the lights went out. Shame that video is not a bit longer, actually. I wanted to show you that bit where they actually come out, but you can see it here. Just some images, again, of Bo smiling, Bo coming out, Bo being attacked. Then we got this from Detective of Wrestling. So a Wyatt Sicks theory So let's go full screen on this so that we can actually see this a little bit better. The light we see in the entrance or through the door is the North Star. That is the spirit of Bray Wyatt. And when the light disappears, it is contained within the lantern that Howdy holds, or in this case, the one that Nikki held. So there we go. That is Detective of Wrestling's thoughts. I didn't see actually if there was any other comments there. No, I think that was it. I really like that. I think that's a really, really solid theory, that that light that shines through, because you see this first and then they sort of walk in front of it, that this is the light of Bray Wyatt. The only thing I would say is, if that is the direction we're going in, maybe it would be nice if it was red, because of him being the color red in a world of black and white. So, you know, if we wanted it to represent Bray, I think that it could be stronger in its theming if it was red. But I do like that theory. I think that's excellent. Wrestling Rianne said, yeah, a very fun and interesting segment. Bo Dallas making his in-ring return as himself, and he is Bo Dallas. That's another thing, isn't it? People were saying, will he be Taylor? Will they change it to Bo Wyatt? He's Bo Dallas, and they've referred to him on this show multiple times as Bo Dallas. Alongside Rowan's heartfelt interview, it was interesting, adds vulnerability to the group. It increases them as baby faces, and it increases the audience's love for them. Let's see if we can just whoosh that over. Gable and the Creeds look very dominant and excellent as heels, ultimately loving the segment each week. They rival any of the main eventers, if not beat them in ratings, and produce some of the best parts of Raw every week. Let them cook, have patience, a story is being told. Two excellent segments tonight. Also, did anyone notice Chad said thank you, and then Bo said, there you are. So, as we said, you know, is it a case of showing your real self? Is it a case that he wants you to revel in who you are? He was also attacking him at the time. Like here, he had him like this, you know, so there was aggression there. So I still wouldn't rule out the Fiend thought, but I'll be interested to know what people's thoughts are on that. Henry said, this is so good cinema. It's amazing. Next week we're going to cook. So there is Bo with his arms out and the family behind, just like Bray used to do. And look at that for an image. So good. So good. There's Bray doing it. There we go. Wyatt Sicks says for Bray. So as we said, a couple of little Easter eggs in there. Jeremy also just asked, did they form the moth emblem? I don't know about that, to be honest. I don't know. I don't know that this was the moth emblem here. It'd be really fun. I mean, I can't say that it's that clear. It's very out of the box theory. I do like it. I don't know that that's what we're doing, but I like that. So definitely people reading into the light, reading into the silhouette. But yeah, lots of little bits, little Easter eggs, little cryptic clues, little things like that for us to get our teeth into. We still don't know quite what the match is, but as we said, we're expecting it, or I'm expecting it to be Wyatt Sicks taking on Alpha Academy. Puppets in the background. Emotional Rowan interview. I mean, really, if you're into your Wyatt Sicks, you ate goods. You ate real goods here, so feel free to let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Appreciate the support as always, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.